Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of Tiki Talka. Today we have myself, Travis, we have Joey, and we also have our first guest on the pod, Sam.
How's it going?
Woo!
Sam's a Liverpool fan, if you can't tell, and today him and Joey are going to go head-to-head on the top 5 players they think can save Liverpool's season. So here's a sneak peek of what you can expect in today's episode.
He's not the same McAllister. His passing, shocking. Ball carrying, shocking.
Isak was a greed situation, in my opinion.
Do you really want to be part of a sinking ship, or do you want to come join Liverpool?
Listen, so there's all the family trouble, but there's no doubt that those kids are studs, and they're not meant to play outside of England. Jude's unbelievable, but he isn't what he was.
Who do you think's the better out of the two Bellinghams?
I think if Joe bleeds Germany, it could be him. There's not a team on the block who doesn't want him.
I genuinely don't care what Edwards or Hughes has to say. You pay that money. You pay it now.
The 97-minute goals need to stop. You write the check, cry once, and at least you lock up the middle of your field.
What else does City have going on in this window? Oh, 300 financial fair play charges.
I love Kirkes, but the amount of times I see that man turn and kick the ball directly to the side will cause me to lose hair. Signed every pretty girl on town, and we left the best looking one.
All right. So how you doing, Sam?
Doing good. Excited to be on the pod. Obviously talk a lot of footy with y'all, so it's nice to get on here, kind of get my opinion out there.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
How long have you been a Liverpool fan?
Man, probably since I was like 7 or 8. I mean, as soon as I started playing club, I needed a player, and I was a midfielder, and there's a sneaky guy, Gerard. He just took my heart. Always wore 8. I mean, that's where the love fell.
Dare I ask this question? Did you make Joey a Liverpool fan?
No. When Joe and I are pledge brothers, we were talking about footy one day, and I was like, yo, there's a Liverpool game tomorrow. He's like, yeah, I know, I'm a Liverpool fan. And we ended up watching most of the games, like free tailgates at Alabama. We lived in the same apartment complex. Go over there, grab some coffee, and just start the mornings right for a Saturday in the South.
Yeah, in 2019, when we won the Champions League, we watched that at his place, and that was electric, bro. That was a moment, man. We saw most of the 1920 season. COVID hit and that stunk. I mean, we usually FaceTime through most of the games, so we practically watch, title charge last season together. It was cool going out to school, and then we just kind of stumble into each other, and here we are, bro, riding for the Reds.
100%.
It's a good time to be a Liverpool fan nowadays, but I guess, when you first started, it was rough. It's basically Man United right now.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of jokes when I was a kid, and everybody else had their Barcelona kit, their Madrid kits. If I was a Red.
Just living with the slip forever and ever.
Yeah,
That'll never go away.
No, never.
I just saw some reels on it the other day. I'm just like, dude, this thing just won't die off.
No, it finds me. I swear it finds me.
And then I always get the coping reels like, no, that's not why Liverpool didn't win the league in 2014. There's so many other reasons. Like, no, it's really because of that slip, man.
Exactly. One
It
moment,
cooked
man.
us.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. So let me provide some context. So today, by saving Liverpool season, what we mean is something like guarantee a top 4 finish and potentially competing for the Premier League title. As you know, we're about halfway through, so there's still a shot. Some people say Arsenal bottle job, so there's always hope. So today, Joey and Sam are going to play the role of scouts, and I will play the role of sporting director. So they're going to take turns making their pitches on who they think their top 5 targets will be for the January transfer window. We're ranking it 1 to 5. We'll start in a reverse order, from 5 being the least important, 1 being the most important. So after each round, I'll pick one of the 2 options, and that person will get a point, and whoever wins at the end can get your bragging rights.
I need them.
I think I got this one, Joe.
Joey, let's start with you.
Well, if you've been watching Liverpool games this season, one thing that sticks out pretty prevalently is how shocking that defense has been compared to last year, where it was unbreachable. Anfield was a fortress, and since then, Fortress Anfield has become a pillow fort, essentially. I mean, that combination of Emu and Van Dijk, for whatever reason, no one's really clicking together right now. So I believe a center half is desperately needed. It's very unfortunate that Leone got hurt the way he did in the Carabao, because when he was playing, man, was he great. But we're not going to see him for another year. So we need a center back. And I think someone who can get good value for money and is just going to be kind of a stopgap, plug in, plug out. He's not going to be a regular starter, but it's going to be a good rotation piece. It's going to be Morello at Nottingham Forest. Shocking, but he does win over 85% of his challenges. He has, 46 tackles plus interceptions in 19 Premier League games. He's good. He's solid. Is he amazing? No, I wouldn't say he's great. He doesn't, inspire. He doesn't inspire me, but what Liverpool need is a solid center half, and that's why he's in there. We need somebody. And, if we can get him for 20, 30 million, might be way too much, but we need somebody.
I don't think that's a bad shout. I think Murillo, last year, I think stood out. He was probably one of the best defenders in the Prem last season. This season, not as standout, but not a bad shout at all. And Sam, who is he going up against?
So for my first player, and rated at 5 mainly because of the chemistry, but I have Wilfried Singo from Galatasaray. Big same belief as Joe that really through the center and especially in our back, we need to get defensively sharp. One thing I've always seen and what speaks to me as a Liverpool player is just sheer dominance and physicality, and I think Singo's going to bring that to the table. Ivory Coast, he's young, he's fast, he's big. That $60 million buyout clause, even though he just moved to Galatasaray, we could trigger that. We have the money for it. But the big thing is I think the competitiveness of that center line is needed. Virgil's our king. He's going to stay back there. But Konate, with all the talks of Madrid and everything else, we need somebody who's going to make him feel like he won't be in that lineup. That's going to take away his position. And I think having a massive, fast, and athletic center back is going to constantly put pressure where those two are going to have to battle and they're going to have to play. And I think it fits in our scheme well, especially the physicality. That's what we grew up watching when Liverpool wasn't top of the table all the time. What we did have were strong physical center backs, and I think having that in the game will be a whirlwind in the sprint at the end of the season.
Okay. What are your guys' thoughts on Premier League proven?
That's the whole reason why I picked Murillo. I was thinking of maybe going into Ligue 1. Lacroix came from Ligue 1, the Gahey's Parker at Crystal Palace. He came from FC Lorient. That's where I know him from. He was very solid at Lorient down in Ligue 2, and then when he got moved to Ligue 1, even better. You can go to Germany. Slaughterbeck was a huge name on my mind, but there's no way Dortmund's going to let someone like that go right away, and he's going to be just way too expensive. And anyone who is really worthwhile in the outside league is on a team that's challenging for a league title. So I've said, what the heck, Murillo? Yeah, maybe there could be in top 4 with Liverpool, but Forest is having a lot of financial problems. And if a club, a Big Six club comes calling with some money, they're going to sell. They have to. They're just going to.
So on the Premier League proven, I believe that it does matter. I think there's tons of players we've seen. Sadly, as an American, like Pulisic at Chelsea, you can say it's a system issue. You can say all these things with the pace and the physicality and the dominance of the Premier League. Our middle of our table is top 4, damn near everywhere else. So in my opinion, it does matter. But I think that's really driven at attacking center mids. I think that you can see defenders come in and dominate on physicality, speed, size, just ability to win the ball. I think that that's one thing that does translate in soccer and in footy. So I think that when it's coming to defenders, it might not be as big of a deal. I think you're kind of looking at some of those intangibles on paper of, do they have the speed? Do they have the size? Do they have the fitness to play? Because the one thing I can say is the speed's faster. So if you're not going to have that longevity, if you're going to have injuries, coming to the Prem's not going to help.
For me personally, I'm kind of so-so on it as well. I think in certain positions it matters more if you're Premier League proven, depending on the team and the situation that you're in, because sometimes it's tough being on a weak team and you're the best player. You might not shine as much, right? I think for this instance, when it comes to defending, I will go with the Premier League proven Murillo on this one. I think, again, last year was stellar. On my fantasy team, he was actually like one of my top guys to kept me in it week on week. So we will give point for Joey this time. All right. So let's move on to 4th. So this time we'll alternate. So let's start with you, Sam. Who do you got for your number 4 spot?
So I have Keith Smith. So y'all might not know much of him, but the one thing that I was really thinking about when it came to Liverpool was the Dutch connection we currently have going on in the team. Having a 19-year-old midfielder at a low price point is a huge deal, especially when you're hearing large teams like Arsenal are keeping their eye on him. I think it's one of those things where we will see him in the Prem. He's on the U21 Dutch team. He's a stud. And I think if you just flip the clips, like you can tell that he has that talent. So with the Dutch connection on this team, with Gakpo, with Grabs at that, center defensive mid, because I don't think he's going to be like a Szoboszlai. I think he's going to end up playing more like a Maka type position where, if something were to happen to Grabs, that's an opportunity for him to drop back, play center defensive mid. Granted, he is a 19-year-old, so you have to deal with the fact that he's going to be growing. But for us, I think the one thing we do is we grow players well. We've seen the issues with Bagatech. Like, he hasn't been on the field in a minute. So getting another young, athletic, skill player in the midfield, I think will be a great benefit to the team. Just because, right now we have a solid core, but as you start to mix and move pieces, we're 1 to 2 injuries away from that midfield being, dead. When it came to my mind, it was like, that's the opportunity to grow a player who has skill. So that's where I went with this one.
All right. And Joey, who do you have contending with Keys?
Well, I have this guy in here more because realistically, is he going to get sold in January? Probably not. But is this someone that we desperately need? Yes. It's no secret. Mo Salah doesn't seem very happy right now. And he has only 2 years left on his contract, and we don't have a replacement for him. Rio may be that next guy up, but he's only, 18 years old. That's an awful long way away. We need someone who is still young, but is already at an elite level. So for that, I picked Bradley Barcola out on PSG as a young elite winger. He's coming back from injury, so his stats this season don't really match up, but he has scored 5 goals in 14 matches played in Ligue 1. He has 9 starts. Pace, creativity, wow. His take-ons don't really show that. He's winning only less than 30% of his take-ons, but when he does have the ball, he's just very exciting. And I think that's what Anfield desperately, desperately needs right now. This current slot ball is just boring. It sucks. It's not fun to watch. There's a lot of back passing. There's a lot of, okay, there's one man in front of me. I'm not going to bother to jump around him. Let me just send it back to Ibu. Let me send it to Maka, No one wants to try to beat somebody. Loves to try to beat a man. And he loves to create 63 shots created already this season while being hurt for about 2 months. That's a pretty good return. And I think if he comes around a team that is full of, not to discount this PSG side who just won the Champions League, but if you're coming and playing elite sides with elite players week in, week out, this kid can be very, very good. Again, is PSG going to sell him in January? There's just no way unless they somehow get hit with financial fair play. He's not getting sold. But the club was linked with him last year. He only wasn't bought because we wanted to clear a pathway for Rio Negamoa. Rio's played maybe 40 minutes all season. So if we're not going to clear a pathway for him, we should go get Barcola because this guy can play and he's a Champions League winner already. So at 24, he's probably going to run 70 million. We've spent a lot of money already, but we have the money, so let's just get another elite player.
I have a couple questions here on your picks, guys. So let's start with Barcola. Yes, he's PSG's homegrown talent, golden boy, right? He's kind of the next big thing up there. I do personally think it's going to be really difficult, nearly impossible to take him out of PSG. I think, he feels at home, he's playing well, has regular game time, thriving with the new coach, just won the Champions League. But that being said, I'm not quite sure it would be even possible or it would be an astronomical feat. But linking it to Rio, do you think if we got, rid of Salah and we brought in Barcola, would we still run into the same problem with Rio getting those limited minutes? Or do you think they would rotate 60-40?
Barcola could play on either side, right? And Rio wants to play on the left. However, whenever he gets subbed on, he seems to be going to the right and then just forcing Salah to put him on the left at some point. No, that's not going to be an issue because even when Salah goes, we don't have a right winger. We still don't have anyone to play on the right side. He hates Chiesa for whatever reason. It's beyond me at this point. We need someone over there. If Rio was getting 20 minutes once a week or, something like that, then I would never, ever mention someone like Barcola because we could see this guy developing. This is not playing. He's not playing. Look what he did to Tyler Morton. He got rid of an amazing young player. I'm discounting Rio because of slot. I think Rio could be great. And again, if Rio was playing, I would never consider him a winger. But I have to consider a winger because what we have right now, Sam knows, I was huge on Gakpo when that World Cup hit. Huge on Gakpo. This season, he is not half the player that he was last year or the 2 years before that. We need somebody, man. But yeah, it's probably not going to happen, but I can dream.
You can dream, but I'm the sporting director here, and I'm going for realism. So realistically, I don't think we can get him. I definitely think Keys is a better option here. Not saying he's a better player right now, but like Sam was saying, He's financially more affordable. He's one for the future. He's more understanding of the rotation and the game minutes that he'll be able to play. And he could learn off the players like Maka and Grabs and Soboslai. So I am going to give the point to Sam here, and we'll go with Keese. All right, so now we're at 1-1. So, Joey, back to you. Who do you have for your third spot?
Well, I just mentioned Tyler Morton. Sam and I were huge on Tyler Morton.
Yeah, Joe's a big Mort guy.
We were huge on him and McConnell. And we've got rid of Morton already. What we need is a 6 to replace Maka or someone who can rotate with Maka. Because Alexis is not been the player he has been for the first 2 years he was at Liverpool. I don't know if this is down to form, if this is, him struggling with what happened during the summer. I don't know what happened to him, but he's not the same McAllister. His passing, shocking. Ball carrying, shocking. So we need someone who can go back in that 6 position. Again, it'd be nice if we just had Tyler Morton because we need to go out and get another 6. But since Morton's gone, I think to stick with Premier League proven, Adam Wharton's the guy that has to be there. Everyone who watches the Premier League knows Wharton. They know what he can do. 25 matches played. He started all of them except one in the Conference League. He has 2 assists in the Premier League, which doesn't really show how great he is when he passes that ball. This guy unlocks low blocks like nobody's business. If you're making a run on the far wing, he sees you and he's going to ping that ball to you. You just have to finish your run. This guy is so fun to watch. His progressive passing is just through the roof. 60 chances created already in the league. We need someone like this. We desperately, desperately need someone like this. There's not stats to really say why Warren needs to be here, but just watching him play, watching how calm, cool, collected he is when he has the ball, when there's 3 guys trying to strip him off him. No one's taking the ball off this guy, and then he just pings it 20 yards. I mean, it has to be Warren. We need a 6, and he's the best one in the league outside the big 6.
So how much do you think it's going to cost to pry him out of Palace's hands?
He has a release clause of $60 million. It doesn't matter how much they want him. Just pay the $60 million and move on. Again, that's what's been talked about for about a year. Every single club has had the same conversation, but Glasner is just being Glasner, and no one wants to do business with Palace.
To be honest, I'm surprised, first of all, that he went to Palace, and second of all, that hasn't been picked up by another club, which kind of leads me to believe, is there some sort of underlying numbers that some of these top clubs aren't happy with? Or because I haven't seen it. I think this guy's stellar.
When you look at the big 6, a lot of the elite teams don't need someone like him. City have Rodri. I mean, Chelsea has spent $200-something million on 2 6s that are never healthy to play. Arsenal have 4 defensive midfielders on the pitch at any given time. We need someone like this. United need
him.
You guys just be happy you're here. It's all you got going on for you guys right now.
You're saying 60 mil, right? United should pick him up this transfer window.
But you guys got Ugarte for 45 2 windows ago. So
waste of money. And they're
you have Casemiro as well.
Yeah,
so
definitely. And he's older, but he's coming out of contract. There's an option to renew him. But, when you look at, United have been linked to Baleba, right? 100 million a couple of years ago. He's probably going to be close to that this summer. But you got this guy for 60? So I don't know why. I'm not sure what's going on over at United. Sam, who do you have competing with Adam Wharton here?
Might be my hottest take of the evening, but I think that something seriously lacking in the Liverpool locker room are Englishmen. We are a Prem club, and the past couple of years we've seen a lot of our English folk leave, and I think it's time we bring back some type of English player, a younger superstar in the making. So I decided that I think Job's probably the place we go here. Yeah, I knew it was coming, Joe, but listen, so there's all the family trouble. Everybody read the articles about the family trouble, dad getting kicked out, trying to go into the locker room. We all know what the family is, but there's no doubt that those kids are studs, and they're not meant to play outside of England. You can see it, the drop-off. I mean, yes, Jude's unbelievable. He plays for Madrid, but he isn't what he was. Job goes to Borussia Dortmund. He's not what he was at Sunderland. Those boys are made to play in the Prem. They're physical, they're big, they're flashy. And I think we would all agree that the Prem could use a little more flashy at this point. It's coming back, but it's not what it was. We could use some flashy with the midfield we have, the ability to create, with Flo out there, with Soboslai. I mean, he fits like a glove. Keeps the ball well. He's 6'3". I mean, the big issue here is going to be a price. But I mean, when Liverpool wants to flash money, they flash money. Papa Henry has the checkbook. He knows what's going on. We saw it this summer. when they want something, I mean, look at the Isak deal that occurred. We brought in Hugo, which I've told Joe multiple times. I think that's a signing of the season. He's been nothing but great. But years ago, Edwards and Hughes, they loved Isak. What did they do? They said, we're getting him no matter what. And I think Job's a situation like that. You're going to probably have to pay 40, 50, 60 at the highest end, but you're going to get a player that's 20 years old, cut to play in the Prem, going to be wearing the England badge on his chest at the World Cup. I think that's kind of a no-brainer in terms of if you're going to flash money and you're not going to flash it for a defense, you're going to go get a stud. You're going to go get a guy who knows how to ball. And I think that right there is what we can do.
So you think he's going to make the World Cup squad?
I think he could. Now, the one issue I'd say that's hampering him is the fact that his minutes are great at Dortmund. I think it's 600, maybe less on the season. I know he's got a pretty bad red card, too, that kind of sat him out. But I think that he's a stud. I think that he has all the intangibles, especially on an England team that's kind of riddled with older talent. They're going to put younger guys on the back end. That doesn't mean he's starting, playing a lot, but I don't know what the risk is of putting him on. Some of the players staying on are probably too old at this point. That's been an England issue for years, is putting loyalty into legends that have gotten past their due. But he should be a shot. If they're not looking at him, I think that's crazy.
Who do you think's the better out of the two Bellinghams?
I mean, currently he's got to be Jude, for sure.
Well, the higher ceiling, maybe that's a better question to ask.
I think if Joe leads Germany, it could be him. I mean, I think he's a little bit more technical on the ball. He holds the ball a little better. The thing with Jude's just that, like, when he decides he's going to go and he gets that, that engine that he doesn't turn off sometimes, I think it's impossible to stop him. So when he gives those flashes of greatness, Jude clearly night and day. But I think Job just has the better calmness on the ball that really will trap. As he gets older, I think that's going to really allow him to succeed. But I do think it means leaving Germany, especially at Dortmund. If you want to go play for Munich, you go play for Munich. I mean, look at Luis Diaz. Like, he had a great year so far. But look at the production this year in Germany versus production in the Prem. It just shows that there's levels to this. And if you're a young guy, your goal should be to be playing the top talent at all times. And for me, personally, that would be in the Prem.
And what position do you see him playing in if you were to make this Liverpool squad?
Would have essentially two attacking mids, or a triangle there with grabs, and then I would leave Szoboszlai on that right side and Job on the left to link up with Florian. Then you got Hugo coming back in. I think that the size, the ability to play the ball over the top into that middle would be unbelievable. That's an aerial threat. The control that left side would have would be unbelievable. I'm definitely concerned about the right wing situation. Flo drifts around. TK is just, I don't even know what to say. He's unbelievable. He could almost move away from the fact that you need those right wingers so far forward at all times when you have a midfield that's that stacked.
So you see him playing off to the left?
Yeah.
All right, so let me weigh in. Oh, one question before I actually do. The thing about Jude, though, slump ever since he left England, right, or Dortmund. But arguably, Jude's best season was last season. Right, breakout star, scoring all those last-minute goals in the El Clásico. This guy made a big name for himself on the biggest stage.
You're talking about 2 years ago? Because that was his second year last
it was 2
year.
years ago. 2 years ago.
You get so much talent on a field sometimes, and I think that not the quality, but maybe the head that these players have, they're making more money than soccer players have ever made in their life. This is as big of the brand as we've ever seen. And you look at Madrid, that's just gluttony. It's disgusting. And I think that you do run into issues where there's so much talent, so much money spent, that it does disenfranchise players, that it does make the situation harder to play in. And I just don't see that getting any better because they're just throwing money at their problems.
It's not always good, right? I mean, you look at United throwing money at their problems, but also even Madrid bringing in Mbappe. He's doing well this season, struggled last season, but it's not just the player that you're bringing in. You're also bringing in the baggage, right? So I think that caused a lot of the issues at Madrid last season. Weighing these two up together, I'm looking at the finances. We spent a lot this last summer. How much more do we have to spend in January? I know Gakpo's struggling, but the whole team's struggling, right? And we look at McAllister struggling as well, but so many players are just struggling this season. I'm just wondering when it's going to click and they're all going to be back in form, right? You also have players that can play multiple positions like Ekatike and Isak, who could also play as the 9 or off to the left. So I think for this pick, I'm going to go with Wharton because I do want to be defensively sound, defensively solid. And I do think he can do a lot of tackles and interceptions, stopping the play in its tracks before it even hits the shaky defense in Van Dijk and Konate. So I'm going to go with Joseph on this one.
That's a crazy statement to say shaky defense, and you
Shaky defense at best. You know it.
Van Dyke, shaky defense.
I mean, that's
Hey, I didn't say it was all down to Van Dijk, Joey. We talked about this on the very first episode. Remember, he's got a new guy on Kirkes to his left. He's got Konate having the worst season of his life to his right.
Konate decided
He's
to
like,
go full
he
brain
can't help
dead this
everybody.
season. Thankfully, Milo's throw is finally
settling a little bit, and Bradley's looking good. But
Yeah,
I
Bradley's
mean,
pretty good.
It's a shocking defensive performance this year. The 97-minute goals need to stop.
I just laughed when I saw it. Dude, guy scored 7 goals in his entire freaking career. And that rocket on Sunday was one of them. He hadn't scored in 3 years. Like, what's
It's demoralizing.
Does it when it counts.
It's just crazy, man.
All right, so we're up 2-1, Joseph. So let's move on to number 2. Sam, why don't you start with this one?
So kind of going off of what we were really just talking about, the issue of the season is the defense. And I think that we've clearly touched on that here. But there's only one nation that's really made killers of defense in and out, and that's Italy. Everybody knows. And we talk about, as you asked earlier, Premier League proven, doesn't matter if you're a top defender in the world. And if we really want to fix the problem, you got to go get the top guys that are out there. Alessandro Bastioni from Inter Milan. I don't even know what I need to say about it. He's probably the best defender in Italy. He would fit great next to Virgil. I mean, that would be a great pair. I think the only issue you'd run into is like Virgil's the captain. Bastioni is in that leadership position there. So there might be some struggle there. But in terms of a defensive force, Italy's done best. I mean, that's their game. It is a defensive game. It's hard. And everybody knows if you're going to go play in Italy, you got to get ready to get strapped up. And I think that that's really where we would see some benefit here. He's great on the long ball. 26 years old. He's right in his prime. Virgil getting a little bit older. This is a situation in which you have Leone just tore his ACL. You're going to have somebody who is Italian who's going to be able to grow with him. So there's chemistry there. Leone's he was a monster. We only saw 60 minutes of it. But I think everybody who is a Liverpool fan knew right then, we're like, there's the future right there. And being able to bring somebody in who's going to be able to essentially bring Leone to that 23, 24, 25 years old, where you start to see defenders get into their prime. You know, attackers get into their prime young. But defenders, I mean, that's a whole different ballgame. And I think if we're going to throw all of our eggs into a basket and it's not going to be a Premier League player, this is where you go. You write the check, cry once, and at least you lock up the middle of your field, because we do have the midfield rotation. Like I said, we're maybe a couple injuries away, but you get a monster at center back, and it goes back to those Matip, Virgil years where it didn't matter. We had Henderson and Milner out there. We had 33-year-olds, but coming up the middle of our field was not going to happen. It just didn't happen. So to me, if we're going outside the Prem, if we're going to look elsewhere, this is the top target in my mind.
I don't think I could agree more. I do think, when it comes to being Premier League proven, there are a few exceptions to the rule, and Bastoni, I would say, is one of them. Not only one of the best Italian defenders in the world, but probably one of the best defenders in the world. Like you said, he could defend, he could play out of the back. This guy's got age, got everything, really. So my only concern would be, how hard would it be to get him out of Inter?
That was really what I was thinking about, too, when making the list. I was telling Joe earlier, like, I had 3 that I felt really good about, and then there's a couple that I was kind of tossing in and out when it came to midfield and center back. The one thing is, and people know, like, Italians like playing in Italy. Like, there's a pride level to playing in that home country that, England just doesn't match that at the end of the day. I think the only thing is, like, you got to throw money at that. It's a big check. That's $100 million plus check. And I think that it's worth it. We look at the money we've spent. I think a lot of it was worth it. Isak was a greed situation, in my opinion. Like, Hugo is clearly panned out. Throwing $100 million, they've shown they'll do it. Now, I don't know how much is left in the treasure chest, but if there's $100 million, you might as well go bankrupt on this, because this is buying Apple in the 90s. This is an investment in our future. I don't think there's really many other people on the market that we could go try and attack.
All right. Good pitch there, Sam. So, Joey, let's move on to yours. Who do you got in the number 2 spot?
Well, what's really unfortunate is that I took Bastoni out for the guy that I'm putting in now. As you know, Travis, I too am a big fan of this Bastoni kid. Whenever Inter has to play Milan, I fucking hate seeing him on the pitch because this guy is so dominant, man. I want to say he's as good as Virgil, but it's like seeing, a young Van Dijk just show like, no, I'm a completely different gravy from you guys. None of you, I know what you're going to do because I'm just this good. So here comes my pick because it's not Bastoni. Omar Marmoush is my pick. Like I said earlier, when I said Barcola, we need to replace Mo. And I feel like that is getting lost big time at the club, that we don't have a winger and there doesn't look like there's really many options out there that we're actually pursuing. And I think Marmoush is a very real tenable option that you can get this January for a bargain. You can probably get it for $10 million less than what City paid for him last January. Why? City's literally signing Semio this window for $70 million. What else does City have going on in this window? Oh, 300 financial fair play charges. I think no matter what those charges are, City, just being business people, are going to want to try to cover their asses. They need to sell somebody. Almost just played 396 minutes this entire season. It's nothing. He played 22 matches last season. He scored 8 times. He played 26 games for Frankfurt, scored 20 goals. Who was his partner when he was at Frankfurt? Hugo Ekitike. It's not technically a double transfer, but double transfers usually almost always hit for Liverpool. And if you can bring in someone who is Premier League proven, because when he came in last January, and was he exciting to watch? Bring him in right now. Give him a little bit of chemistry or something that he already has right now. You throw in a guy like Wirtz and Frimpong right there. That's 4 out of your starting 11 that just are clicking right away. I just don't see any downside with trying to pursue Marmoush. I mean, the price tag might hurt, but I don't see it being difficult to get him out of City. City has a lot going on right now, and they're just signed another player exactly like him in his exact position. So if you need him, we need a winger, why not go get him? He's Egyptian. Do we want to keep the legacy of the Egyptian king? Why not? I mean, it's cheesy, but it makes sense. If you grew up watching Salah, there's a chance he definitely wants to play for Liverpool at some point.
What position do you see Marmoush playing in this team?
They put him on the right.
All right, so we put him on the right as the starter, coming off the bench, rotating with Salah.
Well, we don't have Salah right now. He's at AFCON, so yeah, he starts right now. But he's not displacing Mo Salah. I mean, Salah's scoring assist in Egypt. He assisted in his last game before he left. When he comes back, as much as he threw a fit about it all, he kind of does have a point in that you can't just take him out of the spot until he forces you to take him out, which Slot did. Slot dropped him because Salah was terrible. Coming back, Salah has to keep starting. Marmoush can learn from him. He's already learning from him at camp.
Do we see Salah after AFCON? If we know we can go get 60 right now, 70?
We see Salah after AFCON. I don't think we're going to do Salah like how we did Gerrard. And there's no way we're going to try to let another Henderson scenario happen.
We've unfortunately made bad financial decisions at the end of legends' careers. That could be the whole MO of Liverpool.
I mean, look what we did to Gerrard. I mean, exactly what happened with Rodgers and Gerrard, dude. We forced him out a year before you would have gotten Klopp.
When it comes to the mindset of Edwards and Hughes, personally, I think that they're businessmen first and personal people second. I don't think he's going, but it wouldn't be the biggest shock.
He needs to want to go. And I mean, you and I know this. Mo has said in interview after interview, he wants to retire at Liverpool. There's not another club for him after this. It's the whole reason why he wanted this 2-year contract. Mo is done after Liverpool. Unfortunately, his legs are looking like they're a bit toasted. He's still an amazing player. He still can get around you, but he's not this lightning fast guy he once was.
And the drop-off from last year has been unreal.
What's in Saudi for Mo besides, just getting a paycheck?
It's not for Mo.
Yeah, it's
for the treasure chest, though. This is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, but Mo still needs to agree to go, and Mo's not going to agree to go. I just don't see that happening. Yeah, he said a lot of crazy things when he was dropped. I don't know who wants me out, but someone wants me out. I don't know if I'll see you guys again. That was just a very poorly media-trained player.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of media, let's be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm asking this. I'm not really trying to poke it. I mean, I got Mo on my back right now. Like, I bought the brand new kit with Mo on it. But we got to think about it. I'm with you on that. But the market for right wing's not good.
No, the market.
Currently, the market for attackers
is just It's flat out bad. I mean, I think everyone is kind of going to that midfield, do it all kind of role, being and like look at Dom, dude. Dom was highly sought after at his time. There's still people are still looking for 1810s. They want him. Words.
You could put Dom in center back for all I care at this point.
Well, Dom is just that freaking good, dude.
Yeah.
He's just that good. But there's no way Mo leaves. He can't leave. He can't. He's not going to leave. He's not going to piece like that. He's not going to pull a Hendo. No shot he pulls a Hendo.
I don't know if I can agree with that. Getting a lot of money towards the end of his career in a Muslim-based country. I think he's definitely going to Saudi. I don't think it's in January, but I would say either the summer or after next season for sure. I would say Salah's gone. But you said Salah's retiring at Liverpool, so you think he's going to retire at, what, 35?
Yeah.
You think he's done?
I could see
I don't know.
I mean, he's raised his family in Merseyside. I think that was the big thing with him and Virgil, was that both of them had their families start in Merseyside. They had their first kids there. The kids are in school there. They're legends. What a place to live. What a place to live, you know? But I could see him retiring in a red or coming, like, doing a tour, right? You know, a lot of players like to do their tour. But I think that's effective retirement at the end of the day. Like, doing your tour in the U.S. is kind of effective retirement in the Premier League world.
Yeah, there's no way Mo Salah's coming to the U.S. to play soccer, dude. No shots.
One can hope, bro. I was dying at those Bobby Firmino to St. Louis. You know,
I know.
I was
so
on it every day.
That dude. Now we just get Marco Royce.
Right. I sense some Liverpool bias here, guys. You guys are adamant about Mo retiring at Liverpool. I don't see that happening at all.
Why?
The one thing I see is I don't think Hughes lets it happen.
Money talks. Mo's gonna want to create generational wealth for his family. Yes, he already makes a lot at Liverpool, but he can make way more in Saudi. And to be able to have your grandkids not work, that in itself can mean a lot. And like you said, he's going to be a little bit maybe comfortable in a Muslim country, I think. And he hasn't shied. He's never said flat out, no, I'm never going. So I definitely see him either going there towards the later end of his career, or he might want to just keep playing at the top level. So many guys are playing to like late 30s now, 38, 39. So I think he might even go.
He doesn't have the legs to do that.
Yeah, I don't know who takes a chance on him outside of Liverpool.
He would probably have to shift positions, right? Play a 9 or a 10, kind of like how Messi and Ronaldo kind of inverted towards the end of their careers. So he might go to Italy, right, and play for a club fighting for the Europa League.
Go back to Fiorentina.
He could. Maybe he'll go to Germany, but I don't think it's Germany. It's more of, I think, probably Italy. More of his pace, not as quick, a little bit technical, you know. Yeah.
Something that like is not a speed game, like where like touch on the ball matters, but that's not his way of creating goals at the end of the day. So I think that's like the one issue. Like the reason the Prem worked for him was because he was so fast and so strong on the ball. And as Joe said, like he's just lost his legs, unfortunately. I don't know what happened. You look at last season, in my opinion, a Ballon d'Or should have happened.
Correct opinion.
Good shout.
Should have happened.
Good shout.
But like, to be honest, and then to see it this year, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And that could, as Joe said, be the stuff with Jota over the summer. I mean, that locker room's hurting. I think people do forget that during this season. That locker room's hurting. Look at Robbo. There's people who are very close with Jota.
All of Anfield's hurting, man.
Yeah, so it's just sad to see that, like, a legend. And it's tough because Joe and I talk about it a lot. You go on Twitter and you see a lot of the people really want to get on Mo all the time without praising what was given to us. And Joe and I have always talked about it. It's like, as soon as you do one bad thing at Anfield, you are a rat. You're a rat at the end of the day. And it's sad to see him get that treatment. But I don't think the market's right yet to go hunting right wings. I just don't see a replacement there. I'd rather see the formation change with Ekitike, Isak, where it's with the ability to create that we have up top. I'd rather see our offensive formation change than try to replace Mo. Not going to catch lightning in a bottle twice.
Personally, I don't think Mo's done. I know a lot of people are making the argument of his legs have gone, but just from like what I've seen in experience, like I don't think they can go that fast. He was competing for the Ballon d'Or last season. To go from that to this, it's more than just losing legs, right? There definitely, like you said, Sam, is something going on in the locker room. Because if we look at Liverpool as a whole, there's literally 2 players that are playing well. You have Dom and you have Ekitike. Other than that, Everybody's
Yeah,
taking a
without
slump.
those two, we probably are mid-table, unfortunately.
Definitely. So I think it's just a matter of what happened over the summer. I think it might be tactical reasons, but I do think he'll come good again. I don't think this is the last that we've seen of Mo Salah in a Liverpool kit, and I think he will come back to his peaks. I like your shout, Joey. As far as Marmoush goes, I liked how you said doing the double transfer with Ekatike and Marmoush teaming up again. My only hesitation is that I think that would require a formation change because they did play up top together over at Frankfurt. So having him out on the right, I don't know if he'll be as effective. And right now he's like basically Holland's backup over at City, right? So I think for this one, I got to go with Bastoni. And it pains me to say because obviously I am a Milan fan, not an Inter fan, but Bastoni is just that good. I wish he was on the other side of Milan wearing the red and black instead of the blue. I made a lot of good points about him being one for the future. Some of the other signings that I think we've got so far are not spilling the cash that much, so I would much rather spend the cash for the back line, and I think he would partner amazingly well with Van Dijk, instantly replace Konate, and stop the goals from just leaking in. So I'm going to give this point to Sam. So we are at a 2-2 draw on this
Yeah,
one.
dude. I mean, as soon as I saw Bastoni on there, I was like, yeah.
And I'm not surprised that you were thinking about him either, because I think when you're looking at defensive caliber, it's hard not to just go to Inter and think that, like, we see it in the Champions League. It's very prevalent to anybody who watches them play that. And if he ever leaves, it's going to be a record deal. Like, it's going to be a top defensive contract, money-breaking news, because he is that good, and he's worth that.
Be like Maldini leaving to go to Madrid.
100%. And that's, the big thing is, I don't think he ever leaves Italy.
No. I mean, we had to throw the freaking kitchen sink at Leone to get him out of her, and the kid's freaking 18.
There's just a pride thing there, and I
Italy's
F with it.
country.
I F with it.
I agree with most of it, but I do think there might be a chance. And the reason I say that is that if we're going into negotiations, right, with Bastoni, if we lean on what just happened in the Champions League last year, right, they're always close, but not there. They've made it to the finals, 2 of the last 3 years or something
It's
like
like
that.
Arteta.
And they keep losing. But
Always the bridesmaid.
Hammered.
Always the bridesmaid. Who said
Always.
Never the bride.
And at some point, it's like, hey, this Inter team is now starting to age out. I'm the best one and the youngest one, so like, do I want to stay here through a rebuild or do I want to go somewhere where it's going to win now? So I think if we can lean on that, we'd be able to pull Bastoni out of it and say, look, Inter is on the decline. You already have Milan and Napoli taking up. They're going to supinate and take over the Serie A. So do you really want to be part of a sinking ship or do you want to come join Liverpool that you saw last year was successful? So I think there's a real shot that they can get Bastoni if they were just really pushed.
I'm surprised no one tried to push for him last season. I mean, if I were to lose a cup final the way they lost, someone has to die.
I'm sure there were conversations. Let's be honest. I think every year, as a player of this caliber, people come knocking. It has to happen. But again, there's that thing with Italian players. They just
can't leave, dude.
It's the food, Joe. It's the food, I'm telling you.
It's the
food, dude.
Dude, the tomatoes, bellissimo, bro. What does Scott McTominay say?
Well, he looks great over there. He looks better, looks healthier,
he
plays
still
better.
Looks like Napoli's best player, man.
Play better, look better. I don't know if he has a wife, but if he goes and finds one, he's gonna have a great family.
It's all that training from United. He took it with him.
Just watching all that Scholes tape while he was riding the bench.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. So that brings us to our last pick here. Let's see. Sam, you went first the last time, so Joey, we'll start with you. Who's your number 1 pick?
Well, I think Sam and I may have this pick in common because you're both pretty pissed off when this deal fell through. So we desperately needed this guy. Obviously, number 1 pick is Mark Gahey. Anyone who's following English transfers knows that Liverpool needs this guy. And if you're following Mark Gahey, you know that City's in for him. You know, Madrid's in for him. You know, Juve is interested in for him now. 35 that was agreed upon last window. It's not going to happen. He's going to be at least 50 or 60. And I genuinely don't care what Edwards or Hughes has to say. You pay that money. You pay it now. Because if we don't do it now, that guy's gone. And we're in a real bad spot. This guy's 25, 26. He's like Bastoni, but he's Premier League proven. He's captain of his team. This guy is good. He's undersized. He's still winning headers over guys that are 5-6 inches taller than him. He is strong, man. His ball playing is immense. Liverpool need Mark Gahey. We need a center half. We need one so badly. Everything's there. He wanted to come to Liverpool. He was waiting to take pictures. Just pay the money. Pay the money. I'm not even going to look at stats I have written down. Get Mark Gahey. Point blank period. Get him.
Yeah, I would say he was a class act. I mean, for him not to throw all his toys out of the pram when the move fell through, or when Glasner said, if he goes, I go, and he's still playing at the level that he's at.
Glasner's still going, so I
feel like he should have walked.
Yeah, he should have walked.
That still doesn't make sense to me. If you go, I go, okay, sayonara, I'm out.
Dude, yeah.
I'm out anyway.
Eze's already gone. Like, at least he's gone. Like, I'm going to play with Max LaCroix? Yeah, thanks.
And he's that whole team. Like, at the end of the day. Like,
hey, they just got Brennan Johnson, bro. Please respect.
Oh, my bad.
That's true.
But, yeah, I'm with Joe. I literally, on my notes list, the only thing I wrote down was 40 to 70 million. Like, that's because I think that anybody who's following the Premier League understands. And the thing is, he's not leaving England. English national team, proud to be an English player, wants to stay in the Prem. You either facing him or you have him. He's one of those guys. Rather have him than face him. I mean, you want to face him at Arsenal? No, I don't want to. I know, Travis, you don't want to see him in any lineup against you. Man, you would love to have him. There's not a team on the block who doesn't want him.
He's the best defender outside of the Big Six. He's the best center half outside of the Big Six.
And, I mean, he rivals some of them. I mean, he's better than Konate. I mean, that's a easy.
Better than Ibu.
I mean, Ibu, walk yourself to Madrid. You sign him.
Oh, he tried to.
And you know what? He's going to. So sign him. Stick his ass on the bench.
I mean, for
me,
me,
what it is.
He's at the level as like a Ruben Diaz to me. I mean, maybe at a Van Dijk. I mean, this season Van Dijk, because bias. Van Dijk was imperious, forever and ever. But Gahey, just because he plays for Palace, does not get the love that like a Diaz or even a John Stones. Granted, John Stones was good for 2-3 years. He was pretty solid.
Maybe made of glass.
Yeah, but he was exactly he was getting a lot of praise and hype, like he was the next Bobby Charlton. It's Sean freaking Stones. Mark Gahey, he can be a future English captain. That's not a doubt in my mind. He can captain England, no problem. I mean, they'll probably give it to Jude or someone like that, but it should be Gahey. Gahey could be a captain at Liverpool potentially if Szoboszlai hadn't decided to be him this year. Like Sam said, if he's not on your team, why are you going to bother to try to play him? Are you going to get around him? No, you're going to have a really shitty time playing against him. If he's on your team, you have all the confidence in the world to just take your man on. I'm going to whip it. I'm going to whip this ball into the box because I know Mark's got me if I turn it over.
Not even just that. Like, he has that Matip ability to move the ball up the field. Like, he's not scared to take the ball and go.
He goes on an adventure.
He's a great athlete, super fast, super strong. Kind of what I was saying with both Bastioni and Singo. Like, you want in the Premier League, you want speed and physicality. Number one traits for a center back in the Prem. Gahey's not huge. He's not some 6'7" center back. But what he does have is an ability to win over the ball, run through people. He connects his passes well. Leadership is just like, that's not a trained behavior. He was born with that. And on top of that, he's the bride everybody wants right now.
He's the prettiest girl in school.
Yeah, flash the cash. I mean, and I would be surprised if we don't. If Edwards and Hughes showed anything that they're going to spend the money that they want to get it done, I just hope that they don't let this one slip through the crack. So, like, if we don't get him, we're seeing him in a situation where Liverpool hasn't had a great year. If we don't win the Champions League, we got a place to play in Europe next year. I'm not trying to play Europa. So, you have to make the decision. You just spent $550 million, and you're going to lose the revenue to go play in Europa. You're going to lose the revenue of being bounced early in Carabao, revenue being bounced early in the FA Cup. I mean, that's pitiful. You just spent $550 million. You need to go get a player, shore up your position in top 3 and try to win the Champions League. That's got to be what January to May is. If January to May is anything else, it's a lost season. It's an L. Even if we make the Champions League, even if we get 4, that's just luck at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're in a spot of like where we were in 2021, where we're not desperate as we were then, where we need Alisson to score a miracle goal to get top 4. But realistically, that is what we're competing for right now.
If we keep giving up 97th minute goals because Konate can't track back or because Bradley doesn't know how to lock down on the right side. Kirkez kicks a ball out of bounds right next to him when nobody's near him, and he can kick it up the field. That's a 5th grade soccer move. I love Kirkez, but the amount of times I see that man turn and kick the ball directly to the side will cause me to lose hair.
He just
at
has
some
one
point.
foot. Granted, he's he's like 22. He's got to learn. He's got to learn.
When he's hot, but I mean, his cold sucks.
But I mean, like you said, dude, if we're thinking about getting anyone besides Gahey, like bottom priority, if we have to get someone this window, it's Mark Gahey. No one else
100%.
matters. If we're considering anybody else and Mark Gahey's an afterthought, this season's done. It's over. It's completely over. You're right. You're right with that.
This issue that happened this summer. We signed every pretty girl on town, and we left the best looking one.
Yep.
We left the one that mattered the most. Yeah. We said, oh, he wants to come and it's 35 mil. We'll throw 35 mil at it. And it falls
So
through.
you went for quantity over quality, huh?
I don't know. There's some quality in what we
There's
signed.
a lot of quality,
Wirtz has
dude.
looked really good. Ekatike, like I said,
I mean, Isak ain't
What I
showing
said
it.
about
Wirtz
Wirtz
ain't
is
showing
still
it.
correct, bro. What I said about Wirtz is still correct.
I think they'll both come good.
I think Isak, he had an unfortunate summer. But also, how do you match up with a guy who scores in his first 3 games like it's nothing, too? Like, he
Yeah,
never
so-
played in the Premier League and made every single center back look like they shouldn't be on a soccer pitch.
Just looks so cool with the ball at his feet, man. Like, it sounds dumb to say that, but it's like, damn, this guy's sick.
I didn't believe the hype at first, too. I was like watching these TikToks and these YouTube videos, and they kept calling him like the French magician and all this stuff. And I was like, I have no clue what any of this means. He's carrying a little boo-boo, like, it kind of reminded me of Ryan Williams. I was like, he's going to fall off. And he just hasn't. He's just unreal. And it's graceful, too. It's pretty football. And that's the one thing I'll say about the Prem is sometimes, as anybody knows who watches the Prem, sometimes it's not pretty. You get into that horrid Pep style pass around, slow. There's no creativity. It's not beauty. And I think everybody fell in love because soccer when we were kids was beautiful. We grew up with Ronaldinho, Messi, Ronaldo, like whoever your guy is on that side, it doesn't matter because they're both 2 of the best 5 players to ever grace a pitch. And Hugo has that ability. Really, he does. He has the ability to be the top of the top of the top. He really does. But if we don't get a center back, it doesn't even matter.
Nothing matters, man.
He can't score 6 goals a game.
Let me ask you guys this on Mark Gahey. He has been, I heard, linked to other places, Madrid mostly. Where do you look if you're Mark Gahey? I mean, you got Madrid calling, and who says no to Madrid? But you also have Liverpool where you could stay in England. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
And that's kind of like what we ran into when we were looking for managers, right? We want a Xavi.
Madrid.
We want a Xavi, but we're Liverpool, dude, and you can be whoever you want to be. Whoever you say, no, we're the biggest club in the world. Does not matter. Damn near impossible to fight with Madrid. Because like you're saying, Travis, it's Real. I mean, if
Florentino makes blood sacrifices, that's why we all have to deal with this.
They kill children to win these Champions Leagues, dude. Like, it's so serious at Real. And yes, you want to play for your childhood team. You want to make good on your academy club. But there's only 2 real final destinations. One of them is Barca, and the main one's Madrid.
Well, and you look at the culture, the lifestyle. Everybody has to dip their toe. But the one thing I will say is Gahey truly does seem like an English professional, the type of guy like a Milner who, I don't care where I got to go, I'm staying in the Prem. And I can hope that that's the truth. I really do. But you're right, it is hard to say no to Madrid. That white jersey's something, Bernabeu's something.
I will say this too. I mean, he did get shopped away by Chelsea. Chelsea did send him abroad. He came back and he said, no, I want to stay in England. He was in Italy. He did come back.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Mark Gahey's going to stay in England. I don't see him going outside of it, unless it's something like Madrid. Now, the only people that would say no to Madrid are diehard fanboys of Barca.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody else says yes. But I do think Mark Gahey would be, the exception to the rule. I do think he's going to stay in England. My other thing that I wanted to ask about Mark Gahey was, will Crystal Palace let him go? Yes, they let go of Eze, right? And they let go of Elise last year. But this is their first time in Europe. And I think they want to end on a high note and take as much money as they can before letting him go. So I know they're in a conundrum of letting him go for free in the summer. But personally, I do see a world where they're just like, you know what, there's a couple months left, go for it, and taking whatever money they have.
That's tough because you're going to disenfranchise your captain, and it's not far from a possibility. Like, you're not saying anything crazy. I mean, Glasner did it in August. He was like, "F you all, I'm leaving. If you let him go, I'm leaving." But disenfranchising the best players wearing your jersey in the past 10 years,
Twice.
yeah, I would think that that's a horrible move in terms of getting a replacement more so than anything else. Like, if I'm a Wilfred Singo who just went to Galatasaray, 22, 23 years old, Premier League, comes calling, $50, $60 million buyout clause ain't bad for a team like Crystal Palace. They can go spend that. Why do I go there, though? Like, why do I leave to go to a team that, well, if the next big guys come knocking, it's a business. We're trying to get up the ranks. Everybody's trying to get up the ranks. Well, we have to over our captain. I think it's bad business, but also they haven't shown that they're really willing to do good business either. And that's the type of thing that gets you put down to League 2 for 10 years, to League 1, and not being able to battle back up. We've seen it time and time again. There's tons of teams. QPR, man. Like, QPR did that, and they cannot get out of the championship. They had good players that they would not let go, and they could never replace them because people left on freeze and people don't want to come.
Personally, I think Crystal Palace is going to be in trouble next season. I don't see Glasner staying. Mark Gahey obviously is going to go. Munoz is probably going to get picked up by somebody. So I don't have high hopes for them. I wish, them all the best. I hope they would still compete, stay in that mid-table spot that they've been there for so long. But I do think they're going to struggle next season, which is why I can see a world where they get rid of Mark Gahey this window just to bring in whatever cash they can.
Well, they have to get rid of him this window if they want cash because he goes on a free in the summer.
Exactly.
And that's why I think it's not even, there's no way they don't sell him in this January. They need to sell him in January if they want to even think about replacement.
Correct. Obviously, it probably won't be as much money as they would have got last summer, but I do think because of the desperation of the teams that will be coming for Gahey, they will still overprice him.
Oh, I think it's going to be more. I think it's going to be more. Our bid was 40.
City just lost Gravdal.
35.
Yeah. Coverage.
I think this is a $60, $75 million deal because you got Arsenal looking at it. You got City looking at it. Who else knows in the back? I mean, Tottenham is sitting on some money right now.
Chelsea was allegedly thinking about exploring a move, bringing it back.
Yeah, so, there's money to spend.
The only thing, though, is he might have a harder time starting at City, at Arsenal, where I think where he goes into Liverpool, he's just straight
He's there, yeah. Right? I mean, that's an upside move.
And here's this. I'm going to throw this out there. It might be wild, but there could be a world where we bring in Gahey, we switch the formation to 3 at the back with Van Dijk, Gahey, and Konate, and we're using Frimpong and Kirkes as wingbacks. I know it's a whole shift to what Liverpool's doing right now, but when I see players like Kirkes and Frimpong that they brought in, those are their specialty positions. So, but they're not playing them. So if you switch to 3 at the back, that might be the solution.
That alleviates the stress of a right wing and the situation going on with Mo.
Well,
because you have these... Who do you drop?
You might just move. You might move Mo. You might do a 3-5-2 and move Mo. Play 2 up top.
Well, who drops in the midfield triangle? Maka, Graves, Szoboszlai?
Maka.
Not Dom.
Not Graves.
What about Cujo? You don't think Cujo's been flying?
Cujo's played great, but Cujo knows his position. That's a man who's not upset by business, which you got to give him respect. I mean, I know, Joe, you and I talked about a couple months ago. Cujo coming out of the academy he was our number 1 ranked academy player. Well above Trent. He was the man. He was supposed to be the next best thing. It didn't pan out the way he thought, but that dude never turned his back. And
Curtis loves the club, dude. He's still a great midfielder. He's still really, really good. I mean, doesn't have a creative bone in his body, unfortunately. He doesn't know when to shoot or pass. But he can get to that spot.
Leone would have kept up what happened in Carabao for real. I don't think Konate would have been started.
No, Konate would have been dropped months ago.
We've seen Joe Gomez start over Konate this year. And that's Joe Gomez, 32 years old and broken. I love Joe Gomez, but 32 years old and broken.
It's not Joe Gomez from 1920 and 22, 23. It's not Joe anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a personal attack at Konate too, to go get Gahey. I think if there's anything, the stuff that happened with Trent this summer, that I don't think Edwards and Hughes are really willing to deal with the embarrassment of having your starting center back walk on you the same way
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can't happen again. I mean,
And if it's on a free, it's like I said, sit his ass on the bench.
that'd be 4 players that Madrid has done that to. I mean, granted, 2 of them, sure, I guess you can leave with McManaman and Owen. Owen fucked himself over, in other words, but the way Trent left,
We don't need
which
to talk about it, Joe.
I don't want to talk about. I'm just going to say, all I
Let's
want to
talk
say
about
is
no.
you can't
You
do
can make a
that.
whole episode on that.
You just can't do that, right? And if
Travis,
Ibu thinks that he's good enough to then walk away like how because
Trent
Trent's
was that good.
right. Trent's
Yeah.
a really amazing right back. The way he passes the ball, amazing. When he feels like defending, he's pretty good when he feels like defending.
Joe,
When he feels like it.
Joe,
When he feels like it.
Joe, he's a phenomenal offensive right back.
Yeah. When he feels like defending, he's pretty good.
I watched
Pretty
that
good as
man
a
get
stretch.
cooked so many times,
I watched him with
and
you,
I
dude.
had to
know.
support
I
him.
know. I
Now
know.
this is the only benefit. Travis, I will find the text and I'll send them to you. I'm not saying them out loud, but you should have seen the crash out when Trent left. Joe saw the crash out. It was like a month straight of crash out.
We did
If
not
only
have a
we
good
were
time.
recording the pod at that time, huh?
No,
Yes!
no.
No, bro.
It was not pod content, what we were saying.
Dude,
It was that.
I
so
still
my
have
point
hatred. I
being-
have a Trent jersey. It's lucky it's not burned. If there wasn't patches and I have like it's a game
such
that
a
has
good
the
Trent
game
jersey
on
too,
it.
dude.
But like if there wasn't patches and stuff, that thing would be in my fire pit easily.
But so my point being, Ibu is not as good as Trent is at any one thing. He's not as good as defending as Trent is good as passing. He's not good as freaking taking the head ball on as Trent is good as whipping that ball in from a free kick position. Ibu is not elite at any one thing. He's very, very solid. He's very good. But I don't see Ibu ever being a team's number 4. I don't see that happening. He's not going to be a team's captain. His ego is just all over the place. He's too inconsistent.
He doesn't play well without competition.
And
like he needs somebody pushing him.
He needs a Virgil. He needs someone who's better than him to get the best out of him. And just the simple fact that he thought he could backdoor Liverpool and go on a free is just crazy. And it's not going to happen now because his form has just been so bad.
Yeah, I'm not
Madrid's
hearing any
out.
Madrid links.
Madrid doesn't even want to talk to him anymore.
They don't want him.
So now we bring in Gahey. Ibu spirals, and this kid spirals bad. And now this is where, he proves himself. Are you the kid that we signed in 22-23 when you're Virgil's partner? We should have done the quad. Or are you this guy right now in 25-26? You're just some bum who's half in Spain, half in England.
Well, what sucks is he's a great locker room guy too. Like that's the big disappointment of the whole thing is that he's the type of guy like you want on your team. It's just if he doesn't have like legitimate competition, Leone going down, he knows he's starting week in and week out. Whether he makes mistakes, whether he's slow to track back, whether he plays the ball wrong. So that's why we need somebody else because he's young enough where, like Joe said, he's not making headlines right now. I haven't seen a Madrid post in a long time. But you get somebody like Gahey in there where Ibu has to compete to get minutes on the field. Well, now he's going to be 25, 26, where we talked about that's the prime of the center back. That's really where they're reaching their stretch, 26, 27, 28. Well, if you can build him into that, you can lock him down and actually have a very solid physical, athletic defender. He just doesn't have the drive.
I agree.
Plain and simple.
Well, that's all we have time for today, guys. As you could see, Sam and Joey went head-to-head, picking their top 5 players to save Liverpool's season. It ended up being a draw, so you guys can do rock, paper, scissors to see who win, or you can split the bragging rights, and we'll do this again someday.
We'll split it. I'll take it from Joe a different day. When we talk the state of USA soccer, because this man's all Euro all the time. So when we talk state of USA soccer is, Travis, like I sent that text earlier, I'm a big St. Louis soccer guy. I'll take my crown then.
All right.
I'll let Sam go over and I'm like, yeah, bro, you're righter than I am, bro. I don't know shit.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. If you guys like this video, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.
Thank you, Samu.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sam.